areas where a lot of debate has taken place on whether to run public sector BSNL. Is it the most efficient company? It's gone through its highs, maybe 2 decades back, and then seen the lows, a lot of capital infusion. Where does it stand today? Is it worth your while to keep pumping money into it, number one? And number two, what happens to the quintessential old times postal department? Pehle zamane mein डाकिया आता था. That era is over. But there are a lot of assets that the government may hold on that behalf. What are you doing to modernize both?
So two very, very, if you will, very large canvas questions. Difficult for me to answer in a succinct amount of time, but I'm going to take a stab at it. So first, BSNL. I think BSNL is on its path to rejuvenation. I think it's extremely important in a country like India to have a minimum of 3 to 4 providers of telecom service. And whether it was in my earlier avatar as Civil Aviation Minister, that was my key push, that I must have 3 to 4 players in the civil aviation space. And similar here in the telecom space. The government certainly has done a lot for BSNL, but I think BSNL is now standing back on its own 2 feet. Just to give a little bit of an idea of where we are today, in the last 3 to 4 years, our revenues have increased by roughly about 12% to about 21,000 crores. Our expenditure has reduced by about 2% in the last 4 years. We are now EBITDA positive, which means we're making operating profits since 2021, which is when the revival packages were brought in place. We made an operating profit of roughly about 1,100 crores in 2021. Today we're making an operating profit of close to 2,300 crores. So we've doubled our operating profit. In terms of number of subscribers, we've been a little late in the game in terms of 4G, and purposely so, because the choice in front of us when 4G technology came in was either we, like everyone else, adopt foreign technology and bring in their core and bring in their radio access networks and put up their BTSs, or we go down the hard route, which is the Atmanirbhar route. And Prime Minister was very clear that if we want an Atmanirbhar Bharat, we must have our own 4G technology hardware and our own 4G technology stack. And I'm very glad to report to you today that we've not only built out our own 4G core through CDOT, which is a government PSU, but we've also built out our own 4G RANs through Tejas, which is a private sector Indian company. And the SI, the system integrator we have in place, is also TCS. So it's a fully holistic Bharat-India solution. And we've rolled out on this date close to 62,000 towers of Indian technology. So India is only the 5th country in the world to have its own 4G hardware and its own 4G stack. Now, by the time I roll out 100,000 towers, which will be by May or June of 2025, in the next 4 to 5 months, I'll also start switching some of my towers and my BTSs from 4G technology to 5G technology for BSNL. So we are well on the way of doing that. BSNL is also a part of the 4G saturation scheme, where we have close to about 17,000 towers to put up across the country, across 24,000 villages. We've already completed 30% of that, and I hope to complete that task as well by June of next year. So all of India will be covered. 100,000 towers of 4G of BSNL will be up. Conversion of 4G towers to 5G will have begun. The task will have begun by June of next year, and BSNL will also be back completely on its feet. We've put out almost 10 products within BSNL in the last 3 to 4 months, from span-free networks to direct TV, intranet TV, live into your homes. We are testing it out in Madhya Pradesh as we speak, to 5G as a service, to putting in place 5G value propositions for mining. So there's a tremendous amount of work that's going on within BSNL as we speak. And it's my fervent hope and confidence that BSNL will be back on its feet.
Well said, but there's a
Correct. Then on Post. So you are right and you are not completely correct, Navika. Post has a very, very special place in my heart because that was the first charge that I had as a minister way back in 2006 as Minister of State in this department. And I had conceived a Project Arrow, which was really a BPR exercise, a business process restructuring exercise of the Postal Department and changing the look and feel of how you see post offices today. So the new Swish sign and the new branding was all that I had thought of in 2006, 2007, and now it's all over the country. Having said that, the role of the Dakia has to transform. The role of the Dakia is not now something that's not necessary. I think it's extremely necessary. I do not think that any country in the world has the value chain pipeline that the India Post Department has. We have 164,000 POSs, points of sale, across the length and breadth of this country. This network, no one in this country has and no one in the world has. I was just in Germany and I visited DHL and saw their transformation. And India Post is going to undergo somewhat of that transformation. We have to move into really becoming a logistics corporation. We have to move into the e-commerce space. We've got to go digital. We've just hired a consultant for parcel and mail. We are looking at doing a BPR exercise within India Post. I have been working at it for the last 4 to 5 months. And it is my hope that in the next 3 to 4 years, we will become citizen-centric services in terms of setting up POP SKs where passports are made. We've signed an agreement with the MEA today where we'll set up 600 more networks for passport seva kendras, hopefully servicing 1 crore citizens per year through our network. We'll also expand our postal life insurance and our RPLI. And of course, the mainstay has to be parcel and move into much more of a logistic company, look at consolidating our mail sorting hubs, becoming a process-driven corporation. And I'm very excited working on that today with all my postal family as we look to transform India Post.
मिस्टर सिंधिया, एक सवाल है जो मैं इसलिए हिंदी में पूछ रही हूँ क्योंकि ये बहुत बड़े एक आम